A sole proprietorship is the easiest type of business to implement. It requires no formal setup, no annual administration, no dedicated business taxes, and no formal record keeping. In a sole proprietorship, you simply start selling goods or services. All bills and debts are your personal responsibility. All business income and losses are considered passed through and filed on your personal tax returns. A partnership is a formal arrangement where parties known as business partners agree to cooperate to advance their mutual interests. The partners in a partnership may be individuals, businesses, interest-based organizations, schools, governments, or combinations. A corporation is formed by the filing of articles of incorporation, which creates an artificial being. Because it is a separate legal entity, a corporation allows investors to limit their liability to the total amount that they have invested in the business. A corporation may own property, sue, and be sued, and conduct business in its own name. For a business becoming a corporation, it grants some legal protections to the owners of the corporation and generally makes it easier to pool funding from a large number of sources. An S-Corp is a business entity that is federally taxed as a pass-through by the IRS. An S-Corp gives out stocks and is treated much the same way as other corporations. The owners of the S-Corp are called shareholders, and they are protected from liability just as they would be if they had another type of incorporated business. This means that if something bad happens to the business, the shareholders' personal bank accounts cannot be tapped. An S-Corp is not the same as a sole proprietorship, but the two have similarities. Each shareholder is subject to their own tax rates, and there is no double taxation, which means that shareholders are not taxed on both the corporate and individual levels. There are a lot of advantages to S-Corps, especially if you change structures or transfer ownership. Of the various business structures, a C-Corp is the most robust and also the costliest. This is largely because C-Corps are subject to double taxation, with corporate profits being taxed at 21%. Those profits are then taxed a second time once they are distributed to the company owners in the form of dividends, this time at the owner's individual income tax rate. LLCs are the easiest corporations to form and administer. They can be created in most states online in just 5 to 10 minutes at a cost of $150 to $200. LLCs provide limited liability protection to corporate owners, but also require annual filings, updated member list, tax filing with K-1s issued to members, and more formal administration. LLPs operate much like LLCs, but can only be used in certain industries, including accounting, architecture, law, and medicine. Nonprofit organizations use their earnings, funds, and other resources to further their purposes and programs, rather than distribute it to owners and investors. The participants may, but do not have to form a corporation. Typically, a nonprofit that depends on minimum funding and conducts limited activities does not need to incorporate. If the nonprofit does not incorporate, it is not required to file any organizational documents unless it seeks tax-exempt status from the Internal Revenue Service. A franchise is a method of distributing products or services involving a franchisor who establishes the brand's trademark, business system, and a franchisee who pays a royalty and often an initial fee for the right to do business under the franchisor's name and system. Some additional advantages of franchising can be to lower financial risk, and you can utilize collective buying power of many other franchisees, or contributing for advertising and other expenses, and you can hit the ground running. And some disadvantages of franchising are the initial investment can be high, creativity can be stymied, and financial information is shared with corporate so everyone knows your business. This concludes the 4-part series on how do you start a business. I hope you found this video informative and useful. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe.